Are the Niners an offensive or a defensive team?
Man, this is this is so interesting because I think when we look at the 49ers, we say the pedigree of this team is defensive. And Pete Carroll said it also. I'm not so sure that that's what it is anymore, Grant. I know that this is the number one defense, but the identity of this team as a defensive team has produced 0 Super Bowls. Going back to the Harbaugh era, to be real, I mean, they were a defensive team then, and it just hasn't worked out. I think this team might be turning into an offensive team right in front of our eyes because they do have a quarterback that can go out and make the throws that they need him to make. Kyle Shanahan is an offensive coach. I mean, that's what he was brought in to do, was come in and score a lot of points. We've been talking about it for 5 years. Why don't you score more points? Why don't you score more points? And even in 2019, when they were scoring points, it seemed almost fake. There was underlying things to why. That is not the case anymore. This team is just flat out scoring points. I think that they're becoming an offensive team, and I think it's going to be the offense that is ultimately going to have to win this Super Bowl at some point, because at some point, these other quarterbacks are good enough, especially in the Super Bowl, where they're going to put up a lot of points. And when that situation happens, the defense is just going to wilt. And can Brock Purdy and this offense overcome and win a shootout? That tells me that this team is going to have to win on offense eventually, especially probably in the big game. I think this team is an offensive team, which is crazy to say.
It's not necessarily that they're more talented on offense, although they're
Right.
very talented on offense. I think what's interesting is like the book is sort of out on the defense. There is a clear game plan as to how to attack the Niners defense, and teams are sort of have had some success with it, even with backup quarterbacks recently. And it's, go down the field. Take shots down the field. If you just dink and dunk, you're going to lose. And so far, like, that's been giving the Niners problems. And the burden is on D'Amico to adjust. With the offense, there's no book on the Niners offense with Brock Purdy. They have the entire league on its heels, and the burden is on the league to adjust. The Niners can just keep doing what they're doing on offense, and they have like the element of surprise. So, yeah, I would have to say that it's not a fluke that they keep scoring 33, 37 points. And it is a bit of a concern that the Niners defense got ran through by a 6-10 Jarrett Stidham. I mean, Jarrett Stidham looked awful the week after. He didn't look good. He looked good against the Niners, though. That was bad.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think also, I mean, just player for player, the offense might be more talented than the defense, which is crazy to think. I think there's just a lot of talent on this team all the way around. But if we just said, all right, let's go player for player, I think the defense might run out of players before the offense.
They're better in
does.
the trenches on the defense, but I mean, their skill on the perimeter on the offense are really loaded.